Okay, bring your hand up. Take a nice deep breath. Relax and stretch. Relax and expand. Yeah, let every vertebrae relax. Let the hips relax, the shoulders. Let all the joints relax so it can expand and stretch, loosen up. And take a deep breath and let it go. So remember, use the ha sound. More of a gasp when you breathe in, but that quick little ha. And just open up your throat, relax your chest, and it's like quickly releasing that valve when there's too much pressure. And just let your body have that little burp, and then it can slowly release the rest of the pressure. So breathing in and just let everything go. Imagine your palms inside of your body, moving that energy. Breathing in and then flowing down through the front of your body. Move that energy in your bones, washing your bones, washing the ligaments and tendons. Relax every joint and just imagine the blood flowing in every bone of your body, stimulating the bone growth, stimulating the blood growth. Just moving slowly. Imagine the spine and the tailbone gently spiraling back and forth. You're spiraling that energy all the way up. And when you gather that energy from way up in the universe, that it's spiraling down through the top of your head, flowing through that little sun in your chest, flowing down into the lower dantian in the center of the body, spiraling through the whole body. Come up from the side. Make sure you're looking way over the palms, staring way out at the horizon, breathing in and out, purging and then gathering, expanding. Deep breath and feel the shoulder blades moving. One more time. And scooping up, filling up the whole body. Deep breath. Exhale and squeeze. Like you're wringing out the whole body. And slowly letting go so all the blood and chi rush back into the body. And then the bones. Squeezing the blood and chi through every bone of your body. And then slowly letting go so it rushes back in. And then ligaments and tendons. Twisting, wrapping, coiling, squeezing and wringing it out, all the joints. And slowly let it go. Bring everything back. Slowly bring the feet back so they just touch the ground. Sit nice and straight. Relax. Think of letting everything go. Take one deep breath. And then use the ha. Slowly let everything go. Close your eyes. Gently close your eyes. Just focus on that nice relaxed breathing. Don't force it. Focus on relaxing all the joints, starting from the head, working your way down, the neck, the shoulders, even the face. Release the arms. You can feel them swing forward lightly. The palms are open, but relaxed. Release the spine and the hips. Make sure the throat is open and the shoulders are down. And you're breathing from the lower abdominal. You can let go of the legs, let go of the hips, the thighs, the knees, the shins, the calf, the ankles, the feet. Slowly adjust your feet so they can just feel the whole bottom of your foot connect, and then slowly expand your foot down. Just a little bit, the toes reaching down. Check that your throat is relaxed and open. When you breathe, start to slowly expand the hands while relaxing the shoulders and the shoulder blades, turning the palms forward. Making sure the elbows are unlocked. If you feel you have tension, use that quick ha release, that ha, to remind yourself to let everything go. As you slowly suspend your head up, suspending your body slowly, check that you're relaxed breathing and slowly open your eyes, slowly letting the light into your body so you don't shock your body. If you feel your body vibrate and spiraling, just let it go. Take a deep breath. Let it all out. Looking straight ahead, take another deep breath. Use the heart to exhale. Let it all out, squeeze it all out, and relax. And one more deep breath. Okay, breathe normally. And then when you're ready, begin breathing in and lifting and extending the fingertips. Drop your shoulders while you extend the fingertips so they pull the arms forward. And then bringing them up and washing the face. Dropping down while turning the palms. Remember, the palms are constantly turning and moving throughout the whole movement. Just the head falling to open up the neck. Feel the arms letting go all the way through the fingertips. And when you're ready to inhale, you begin the cycle again. When you look forward, look straight ahead as if staring at the mountaintop or the horizon. Lift the sternum and down. Let all the joints go before you begin again. You have to release the hip joints and the shoulder joints before you transition from the breathing in or breathing out, or transitioning, lifting one leg and setting the other leg. Let the head fall. Remember, we want to warm up the neck. Just like washing your face. Feel everything let go. And right when your elbows reach that right angle, feel how the body starts to connect. That's when you start lifting the sternum. One last time, breathing in. And out. Take an extra breath. And then number 2, one hand up, one hand down. Check that your legs are surging and sinking and pressing into the earth. Make sure all your joints are unlocked. Breathe in and turn, looking at the fingertips first. Make sure the fingertips are stretched, palms are open. And you wash through the forearm and just drop that other hand by the side of your knee. Yeah, let it go all the way down for now. And then look at the second finger, second line, second finger. Each time you try and turn the head a little bit more, but only within that safe, comfortable range. Feel the shoulders letting go. And then finally look beyond the fingers to the horizon or the mountaintop. Extend your vision. The palms washing through the forearms. Come back to the throat. Remember, you want the throat open. Your throat is your voice, right? Expressing yourself. Breathing in and down. Okay, shoulders. Unlock the elbows, fold. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And come up and hold that stretch during the whole movement. Turning your palms, pulling your shoulder blades down. Think of the lower inside corner of the shoulder blades. Okay, come on. I need you to close the door because the air conditioner is on. Come inside. And then front to back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Make sure you're pulling them down so you stretch the top of the shoulders and the front. Just take your time all the way down. Slowly let go. And do one side, left or right. Relax the waist and relax the neck so it can turn with the movement. Pull the shoulder blades forward and down. And remember to keep the legs extended and gently expanding into the earth. So you can feel them pressing and surging forward. And keep the top of the head suspended. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And the other palm is still extended. Come forward when you're done. Front to back. Let the body turn. Let the spine turn. Let the neck turn. Try to look straight above so the head is up. Do one more time. Feel those muscles under the shoulder blade all the way down. Relax when you finish and do the other side. Keep the palms open. Really listen to those muscles under the shoulder blade and in the front by the collarbone. And let the body turn. Let the neck turn. Yeah, feel that scapula wedging out. Come forward when you're done. And remember to finish your movement. Don't rush from one movement to the next. Just take your time. And especially when we do this video, you just remind yourself like, oh, it might not be in sync. So don't rush and try and catch up with the movement. There's always a little delay. Anyway, all the way down, finish the movement, and then 2 shoulder blades back to front, and then front to back. Remember to use the ha. Ha. Feel everything letting go. Stretch. And slowly release. Take a breath. Okay, and then loose circles. Just to shake out the muscles. Just swinging. Freely swinging. Just to loosen up those muscles. Okay, and then slow it down. And then put it back together. Breathing in, extending the fingertips, extending the feet. And so we want to sung. And we want to sung the joints. And sung the body. Relax while we're doing a form. Relax while we're expanding. Keep the elbows down. Imagine the elbows hanging straight down. Breathing in and out. Palms turning throughout the whole movement. And then start pulling the spine in one direction and letting go. And when you let go, use that quick ha. That quick release. Ha. Yeah, that's the wind bond. Yeah, the quick release. And one last time in the center. And let everything go. Again, take that extra breath. And then hold the ball and move to the spine. One hand up, one hand down. Relax the wrist. Pull the fingertips. Feel the connection stretching your spine. Make sure the lower hand is plugging all the way down. Upper hand is plugging all the way up. Yeah, I see a lot of people stopping the lower hand about here. Yeah, just let them stretch in opposite directions. Relax the wrist. Stretch the fingertips until you feel something else pulling the fingertips. And then you have to relax the wrist, relax the shoulders, let go of the spine, the hip. So imagine cable, something else is pulling and stretching, doing the stretching for you. And then you have to relax, let go of everything in between. That's the Gung. Take a deep breath. Expand and slowly let go. Right, and switch. Right, switch palms. Same thing, let that lower palm plug all the way into the earth. As you're expanding, feel it opening the rib cage, stretching out the hip. Imagine it stretching the spine all the way through the tailbone, and then stretching through the hip, through the legs, through the feet, through the top of the head, through the fingertips. And then something else starts pulling the feet into the earth, suspending the head and pulling the fingertips, and then you can Gung. And you can let go. Something else is doing the stretch for you. Take a deep breath. Pass right in front of the heart. And to remind yourself to do the heart Qigong. Breathing in. Plugging up into that sun in the sky. Plugging deep into the earth. And And that sun in the sky is sending that little ray of energy down through the top of your head, spiraling down into the sun in your chest. And that sun in your chest warms up your whole body, where you can direct where you want it to go. In the middle of that energy, that breath keeps on spiraling down to your lower dantian, about 3 fingers below your belly button. Relax and stretch. And you said quick is to quickly release all that pressure. Feel the fingertips being pulled. And then we do our spirals. Turn the upper palm and pull the spine. And the bottom hand washing the outside, and release the spine. And then pull the spine, and then lift and fall. Line right up in the center. And relax the shoulders and let the palms spin around the center. Breathe in. Breathe in. Let the head turn, look over the elbow. Turn the waist. Try to keep the knees nice and aligned. As you turn, don't let them pull to one side. Come back to center. Come back to the heart. Lift the sternum. Relax the face muscles and smile from the heart. That feeling of smiling. Turn the palms. Cradle the ball. Remember to connect the center of the palms. And as you turn, feel the palms spinning. Right, like polishing a ball. Quickly release that breath. And then slowly let that tension come out of your body, breathing in. Make sure the head turns so you look just past the elbow if you can. And you scan the horizon. Yeah, don't worry how you turn the palms over. Yeah, there's just too many different ways as long as the palms turn over. Whichever way makes sense to your body. Do one more time. Imagine the spine expanding, the whole body expanding as you coiling, and everything settles back into place. Come back to the center, solar plex. Tilt the sternum up. Remember, solar plex is your confidence, your charisma. Do 3 times on your solar plex. And project way in front of you. Like there's a huge funnel, and the point is far, far, far away from you. And feel that smile and that confidence. Turn the palm and breathe in and lift the sternum. Just tilt the sternum up. Feel the body get full. Right? And then you press a little past that full feeling and come down. Yeah. And then slowly letting all the tension go. Again, take that extra breath. Press the feet into the earth. And then press one side and sink into the hip joint and think of the dantian. So you have to think of 2 places now, the joint and the lower dantian. Right? And hold that as you bring one leg in, and then feel how the palms want to be involved in picking that leg up. And down, press both feet, press, press, press. Bottom of the feet touching, and release. Let everything go, let the legs rest while you pull the chi up from the earth, just the palms. Just draw the chi straight up, breathing in, relaxing. And as you exhale, guiding that chi down, just like guiding down a column. Relaxing the legs. Focus on the back of the hands being pulled upwards, drawn upwards. Back of the hands being pressed down. The feet are relaxed. See if you can feel that little change in pressure in your feet. Bottom of the hands being pushed up like a stick pushing the hands up, and bottom of the hands being pulled down like a suction pulling the hands down. Press both feet into the earth, expand. Feel the pelvic joint expanding. Feel the bottom of the feet connecting but relaxed. Imagine something pulling one leg, the other leg releases. So something pulling the bottom of one foot down, right? And then sink into the hip joint and think of the lower dantian as we begin. And hold your mind expanding, stepping out, but hold your mind in that hip joint. And then you have to let those joints go, and then you can release and transfer. You have to let those joints go right there, let them go, and then you can transition. You have to let them go as you press, so the other side releases. And it's the hip joints and the shoulder joints. Right here, you have to let the hip and shoulder joints go as you transition. You don't have to, but it makes it easier, makes more sense. And feel how the hands, just the surface of the palms, are helping the legs either to rise or to sink into the earth. So the whole arm comes up and the hands draw in towards you as they pull the foot back, and then shoulder blades, elbows sink, and the palms guide the chi down, displacing the earth energy. So they help the leg, one leg to rise while they help the other leg to sink into the earth. Feel the shoulder blades, how you have to move from the shoulder blades. Feel the hips, how they have to release. Yeah, be conscious of picking the legs straight up, trying to keep them in alignment. The knees straight up, keeping them in alignment. And all of us, we tend to have that muscle imbalance somewhere. And so we may not realize it. If you just relax and pick up your leg, one leg might pull to the outside or the inside, or the knee might pull to the outside and inside. So you consciously try to keep them straight to help them realign, rebalance themselves. And you pick the knee up as high as you comfortably can. And so it doesn't look like it, but we're exercising those muscles close to the hip joint that pick up the leg and sink the leg down for stability. And then in slow motion, we're practicing using the palms and the hands with our walking to help stabilize our body. And it gives you time to think of sinking the lower dantian down and thinking of the hip joint and the lower dantian at the same time to stabilize yourself. Last one. Come back and hold the ball. Drop your shoulders. Sink. Press and let go. And loose fist. Remember to rub against the rib cage, stimulate the kidneys and the liver points. So press one foot, sink into the hip joint, and when that other heel releases, then you begin straight out, just taking your time. Press the knee, press the heel and the knee, and then lift, wind that fist up to help pick up that leg. Rub against the rib cage. And as you transition and the other leg comes out, remember we want opposite hand and leg. Heel, pull the toes back, press the knee down, and then wind that leg up. Tuck the elbow so it rubs against the rib cage. And transition. Open palm now. So you feel the difference. And you can get a longer expansion. Pump the foot this time. Then lift. Wind that leg up. Keep the head suspended. Heel, knee, pump the foot, then lift. The other leg is pressing, sinking into the earth. And then transition and add the pull of the spine. Heel, knee, pump, and pull the spine so your body turns. And then lift. Tuck the elbow in. Other side. And just breathe normally. If you relax, the breathing pattern will naturally come out. And slowly down, slowly let go. Press one leg, pick up. And ankles, heel and toe, 45. Relax the shoulders. Keep the elbow tucked. Just like holding that little soap bubble or that paper ball. And that helps you to keep that leg up. And finish and then switch to the other side. And just take your time with the transition. Feel that transition in the hips and the shoulder blades. And keep the body nice and upright. Okay, and transition. Small toe, big toe. Stretching. Stretch those toes. The standing foot flat and open and still sinking into the earth. Oh, you want to see people stand really upright and straight? Watch Korean dramas. All the young actors, I notice. And then the Chinese costume dramas. Oh, the males, they stand so upright and straight. I'm always amazed when I watch their posture. You don't see that in American films. American films, right? They're more relaxed. They're straight, but they're more relaxed. But I notice in the Korean and the Chinese wuxia, right? They're like this. They're just upright. Those actors, like wow. I get embarrassed when I watch them for myself, like, oh, I should be standing straighter. And that's actually their posture is I think for young people is actually, and for everybody, is actually a nice model. Stand up straight, stand up tall. But as we learn in here, relax, but pull that spine up. But yeah, if you watch them, when they always have the full body, right? They're talking to somebody and they're just upright. And it's usually when the male is talking to whoever the competition is, right? The other guy who likes the girl, or the father, or the boss, right? And they have to wow, really upright. It's a nice reminder. That's why I watch Korean dramas to, for remind me how to stand. Listen up to Lee. See, everything ties into the Taichi and the Kung Fu. Okay, come in, pull your chair closer. Okay. So just a quick reminder, we're trying to sung. Sung is relax, but sung means relaxing while we're holding a form, right? While we're moving. So even if it's a still form, like we're doing standing, meditation, or sitting, right? You're in your mind, you're listening to every joint. Every joint is relaxed, but you let every joint expand, and you feel that pull and that stretch. But while you feel that pull and the stretch, it should feel like this. It should just feel like, and that's what we're trying to achieve. So you work your way through setting the form, and you work your way through physically expanding, and then relaxing and feeling everything stretch and stretch and stretch. And then the last part, something else is attached to the fingertips, and something else is pulling. And when something else is pulling on you, then you can let go, right? Inside, you can just let go. If the feet are flat and they're pressing down, then it's a suction, right? Pulling the feet down. The top of the head is suspended. So that lesson is in there because they always talk about top of the head suspended. But we want to apply that pulling, being pulled and suspended, right, to the fingertips, to the palms, to the toes, if the toes are going forward, and the bottom of the feet. And even the tailbone, you could even add, the tailbone has to tuck in, right? If this is your hip joint, the tailbone has to tuck in, so you can feel all the joints in your hip over here kind of swiveling and moving and adjusting. And as it tucks in, right, it's going to pull on the spine, right? And you could imagine, right on the tailbone, right back there's a little plum weight. The plum weight, right, a little string with, like a 16-ounce lead or something, right? Like a 1 pound lead or a half-pound lead just hanging there and gently pulling. And you just relax and let that weight pull and expand. And then the top of the head is being pulled upwards. And everything in between, you just let go, right? So it expands. So physically, we're trying to expand the body in every direction, open and loosen the joints, right? Expand all the muscle tissue, and relax. And if there's knots and kinks, let the body move and let it work out. Right? So it expands and straightens out. And then that's our meridians, that's the nerves, that's the joints. That's where the energy flows, the blood flows, right? Everything. So sometimes as we're doing this, you might get an adjustment, like something like just go pop, right? Because you've allowed it to expand and settle back in the correct place from there. And the longer we can hold that expansion, right, then the fascia will start to release, right, as opposed to just kind of beating it up, and it softens up a little bit, but the tension is still there, so it just tightens again, right? But holding that longer and longer stretch, applying it and running energy through it, that's myofascial release, right? And until finally, boom, it just lets go. And then you get that longer benefit. So mechanically, right, holding that stretch expansion, applying Sung to it. And then just applying, letting your body turn and vibrate. There. All right. Yeah. And for these classes, people are always amazed, right? We can sit for an hour, but if you can't sit for an hour, stand up, move around. You're not required to sit for an hour. Okay. So, um, this let's do our teacups. We're always running. We're always running the set, and then second hour is when I do the qigong. But that means you don't if you don't look at the video later on, right, you don't get the teacups. So teacup, literally, right? They're called teacup or like coconut dance or candle dance, right? Because the idea is that you're holding something upright, right? Like if this were a candle, right, and I'm turning and I'm doing all of this, I can't let it fall to the ground. I can't let it go, right? So, and I'm not allowed to grip it. I'm not allowed to grab it, so I can just turn it over. Right? The palm is open, right? So if I turn, right, the dancers have to go down, right, and adjust and work themselves around the object you're carrying. So that's the idea of teacups. But because it's a concept, right, when I turn here, I don't have to go all the way down and lie on the floor and do all of this contortion. It's just the feeling that I'm holding something, right, and it's stuck in my hand. So in reality, the hand can go down, the palm can face down. You still feel like you're cradling something, stretching open. Right? So it's the concept of doing teacups, right? But in the motion, right, the palm can turn every direction. You're not dropping anything. So if you're doing the dance, right, you have to rotate around the object, right? So that restricts what you do. But in this movement, right, it's your spine, right? So we can, right, if in relative terms, Bon, come. Right, so come over here. So if 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 Bon and I, right, are represent two lines, so in reference to her, we're parallel. But if she leans towards me, right, just bend your leg. Yeah, so take a step up with one foot, yeah, and just lean towards me, right? Then we're not parallel. So if I angle back, right, then my teacup angles can angle back from there. Right? So that's that relative, right? That relative lineup. Okay, thank you. Right? So that relative lineup. So whether you're standing or seated, right? I always say the teacup, as we learn the teacup, is basically just two motions. One is back, so just dropping your hand back and just let your hand swing, and you can let it open up. Right? You can let it open up like this, right? So it's not like the dancer you have to be holding and you have to contort. You just let it down, relax, right? And the opposite direction would be rising. Right? So one is dropping and coming back, and one is rising. Right? So to warm up, we just do two hands. You just let it gently brush against the body, right? And let it drop and come out and circle. So remember, as I've been teaching the single whip and showing you the rounding movement, right? This movement from here, rounding one way and rounding the other way, you're going to see that's actually the teacup. Right? So right there, that's that circle. So we can learn them in isolation, but actually they're teacup movements, right? And just relax, right? Let it scoop, let it come together, let it rub against the rib cage. Just drop the hand, turn, and circle. Right? So coming back. So two basic movements, and that really helped me to get through the teacups and all the variations, to understand, wait, it's only two basic movements. One is going back and one is coming forward. And so the first one, just relaxing. And you have to relax the spine. You don't feel it in the very beginning, but the spine can turn both ways even if you're doing two hands. Okay. So that's drawing back. And right here, right, rubs against the body. Lightly rubs all the way through the tip of the small finger from here. And then this next one is rising. So it rises, right? So it rises. And then from here, you keep your elbow and shoulders down, and fingers rotate out and in like they're going to scoop, and then just drop your hands. So it always reminds me of swimming, right? Like breaststroke, like swimming and pulling through the water, right? And drop your shoulders. You want to really pay attention to relaxing the shoulder blades, relaxing the shoulder joints, and not fighting your body. Okay? And because we're doing two, they can stay on their half like that, or they can overlap. Right? So they could overlap, right? And overlap. But relax, learn to drop your shoulders, learn to drop your elbows. Okay? And palms are open. And on the rising, I can imagine my fingers stretching, expanding, and then scooping and guiding. Right? So stretching, rising, and scooping, and then coming through the waist. Okay. So again, back, coming back, swinging back, and just let it drop, relax, and then turn the palms out, and then that scooping, the teacup. So I like to say this is the teacup movement, and then this is the teacup movement. Just to identify as we're learning. And then rising again. Right? So to learn, just practice going forward and backwards, and until you swing between the boats. If I go back one time, and then forward one time, and then back one time, and then forward one time. So I always do my drills, long repetitions, then you do the next variation, long repetitions, and then you shorten them, and then you do, say, like 3 times, 3 times, 3 times, 3 times, then you do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, right? And then you start really either combining the movements. We'll do 2 moves in a row, 3 moves in a row, and kind of follow that same repetition pattern until you start doing opposites, right? And then when you get confused, that tells you, oh, right, that's kind of your limit. You have to back up, kind of reset again, and then reach that point and work through that point from there. Okay. All right, so we can use the 2 as the warm up, and then we go to one hand. So left or right, doesn't matter. I'm going to start with my right hand. So the left side, I'm just going to let it rest on my body. The palm is free, so I don't want to tie up the wrist. I don't want the wrist locked against the body. I want the wrist free to move. Okay? So, and when we do one hand, that's when we want to start learning how to turn. So I'm going to turn. As I draw my hand through, turn, drop my hand. And as it rises, back of the hand, turn. And then turn. And turn. So it comes across. So turn. So the hand is just moving up and down. So first you start turning, and eventually you start bringing in the idea of pulling the spine. Right? You're pulling the spine, and the body follows. So back and rising, drop the shoulder and elbow, and scoop the teacup through the body. Just drop it down, tuck the elbow, scoop, and down. Do one more, and then we'll switch to the other hand. Right there. And then switch other side. Let me move in a little bit. Yeah. So right here, turn the body, turn the waist, and the hand come out. Right? Don't pull the hand back. You're going to It's too much for the shoulder. You just want to let the hand swing down and turn the body, and then turn the body, and then scoop and come down, rubbing against the inside of the forearm from the elbow to the fingertip against the rib cage. So turn, pull the spine. Turn the spine or pull the spine. And just breathe nice, relaxed, deep breaths of air. Do one more time, and we're going to switch to the other hand again, still pulling back. So I'm going to switch. Just do 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and switch. So start turning. 1, 2, 3, and switch. 1, 2, 3, and switch. 1, 2, 3, and switch. So on your own time, you can do, you can vary how many times you do these repetitions and these sets. And then just take a pause, take a breath. Yeah, and then we rise. So rising, turn the waist, teacup the palm, turn, turn, and turn. And rising, turn, turn, and it's spiraling down and scooping. Rising, turn, turn, turn. One more time. Yeah, stretching the fingertips and scooping. And other side. And go ahead and finish your movement. And don't stop your movement in the middle just because I switched. And make sure you're right over here. You're gently scraping against the rib cage. And keep the elbows tucked in. Yeah. I really like the rising movement because it has that neat, you can really feel the spiral, and it's right here. It feels like it's scooping something. Yeah, I don't know if you call it fancy move or whatever, but I really feel like it's leading with the fingertips because you're riding. So it's like you're following the fingertips the whole time, and then that's scooping and rising. And then I'm going to switch to the other side. And I'm just going to go 3 times. So 2 and 3. And then switch. So rising and turn. And again, come through the rib cage. And switch. And switch. And then I'm going to go to a single repetition. So switch, so just 1, and then switch. 1, and switch. Oops, 1, and switch, and 1, and switch. Yeah, so on your own time, just doing these basic repetitions, just to understand rising or falling and going back. Okay? And then what I would do is I would start combining all 4. So, or rising and falling left and right. So coming through 1, and then the other side 1, and then switch but rising. Right? Rising, other side, and then rising. And that's the pattern. Right? So back, and switching back, and then rising. And as you start flowing the movements, you notice the other hand starts moving before one hand finishes. Right? So as you start flowing, you don't have to completely finish the movement and then start the next movement. You can feel how turning the waist will just initiate, like right here, will just initiate that next movement. Yeah. Sorry, back and back. I have to really focus to keep the structure. And forward and forward. Yeah. So one more time, back and back and forward and forward. So when you do on your own, at any time you can stop and go back and then just repeat. Do whichever repetition you need, however many times. Just gonna set that in, right? Back or forward. Okay? And we used to do this in class before. I haven't done it in the Monday classes, but I take them through the drill, and the last drill is they have to go opposite. So with your hands here, one hand draws back and the other hand rises. And that's where the fun really begins, right? It's not just doing one, 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 right? So one hand back, one hand forward, right? And then teacup and teacup, and then you turn the body so the hands reverse, and as you reverse, right, they switch heights, and then teacup, and then teacup, and then they come back to center. Okay, so we can keep in that same direction first, one forward, one back, teacup, teacup, and turn. Right? Make sure you turn the body and teacup and back to center. And one more time, same direction. One forward, one back, teacup and teacup, turn and teacup and teacup. Right? So as you get used to it, instead of one at a time, right, they start blending together until, right, they both start teacupping together. Okay? And then we go the other side. Right? So one hand back, one hand forward, teacup, teacup, turn, drop your shoulders and elbows, teacup, teacup, and back. Right? And keep on going in that direction. One forward, one back, teacup, teacup, turn. And as you're turning, that teacup finishes and back. Yeah? So teacup, teacup, turn. As you're turning, you still teacupping and back. And then switch. And turn. Come back center and then switch. Right, so we don't have a lot of time, so I'm not going to take you to those long drills that you really should do and switch. Okay? So when you start switching, right, it's if your right hand is going forward, then when you switch, your left hand is going to go forward. Then you're right? So it's like that washing machine spindle, right? Like that 1, 2, right? They're walking, but you have to finish the whole movement. So your right hand might go forward, come back to center, and then switch. Left hand go forward, and then switch. Then right hand forward, and then switch. Yeah, that's the fun part. So if you can get to that point, even if you can do it slowly, right? If you can do it slowly and then switch, like, oh, you're starting to get it. You might still get mixed up if you start speeding it up, but you're starting to get it. But it all comes back. What really helped me, like I said, is to understand one is back and one is forward. That's all it is. And there's a lot of variations in the hand and how long the arm is and turning the body that makes it look complicated. But really, right, it's just one back, teacup, and one rising, teacup. Yeah. And then from there, small variations. Okay, so just loosen up. Yeah, you can make it large or small. Just warm down. 2 hands, forward and backwards, forward and backwards. Yeah, so you don't have to really follow me. Right? Just to loosen up again. And just remind yourself forward and backwards, forward and backwards. So we just end with the, right, just lightly, don't have to pull. Right? We didn't do this today, but when you pull, right, and then it circles, if you open, right, there's a teacup, right, and come down and pull into the single whip, right, and then there's a teacup, right? It's like opening up a flower, but you can see how that circle is related, and down and pulling and in. So down, and then I'll come into my body, I'll fold, right? There's a teacup. There's the teacup. So single whip in the teacup, right? Open, close, right? Single whip in the teacup. Yeah, from there. And then going the other way, right? Rising, right? And then closing, but rising, right? So it's like the hula, the pu, yeah, the flower opening, right? So from here, instead of the teacup, instead of the single whip down, right? The single whip is up, right? So opening and expanding out. So rising, coming down, and then the fingertips can come together, right? For the single whip, but facing up, and then opening, right? And spiraling, and then fingertips together, and then expanding and opening up. So the basic teacup movement, you can see it's in all of these other movements. So that basic teacup movement is really, really important. It's like you start to realize it's a foundational kind of drill. But like the showing you in the single whip, if you really bend and stretch, right, it's developing, not just loosening and learning how to turn and let go and expanding, but it's turning and twisting, right, the tendons and ligaments. And if you add those stretches and those closes, right, and you can make it a fist. Remember, we can make it a fist. So I could come out rising, right, and then make it a fist, and then open, right, make a fist, and then open. That's still the teacup, right, or down, right, and just really spiral, and then fist, right, and then down. Right? So all we're doing is we're changing what we do with the palm, but it's still the teacup movement, right? All of this over here is still doing the same thing, right, and turning the waist. All right, shake everything out. Yes.
Randy, can you do the pull backwards slowly?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, the one going down.
So down,
that one slowly.
So down and then turn, and just drop the hand. So when you come here, just drop the hand, right? Okay. And then come up and turn the palm. So now I'm looking at the back of my hand, right? And then turn. Scoop, and then come back. So drawing, just drop, and then turn the waist, back of the hand, and as you come up, drop the shoulder, right? So as you drop the shoulder, the palm will come up, scoop, and then back. So just drop and turn, flip the hand over, scoop, and down.
Okay, thank you.
So you could see over here, right? I could just make a fist instead and then open. And if I'm opening and closing my hands, right, then I could add those kind of spiral movements, or I could make the single whip, right, coming out here and then open. So same movement, but starting to manipulate.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we're not going to do it, but what I show in the second half, the last few weeks, is you can hold objects. Where's all my little? Right, so you could hold weights. Like I have this tiny little medicine ball, 3-pound medicine ball, right? And this one is nice. It allows me to grab it, and I can keep it really close to my body first, and then slowly make the circle bigger and bigger, right? As I bring it away from my body, the leverage changes, so it requires more strength. So I can do this for therapy, and same thing up and down, right? Or use where is it? I should have put it out ahead of time. You can use a little dumbbell, right? Like I said, probably every household has these little dumbbells all over, right? And you don't have to hold it tight, right? Just hold it loose. And same thing, close to the body, just learning to relax. And then it can be larger and larger circle, right? As you move the weight away from the body, right? It's going to create more stress, right, on the ligaments and tendons, on the muscles. So start close and then move away. Or just use a water bottle. You can use a water bottle or anything. Right? Or like we have an orange tree. All the oranges are falling down. You can hold oranges. Squeeze the orange, same time. Okay, loosen up the leg. Now pull the heels up, stretch, right? You can do this if you want. Yeah. Okay. Bring the hands up. Nice deep breath. Smiling from the heart, from the chest. Letting everything go. Imagining that sun flowing down through the top of your head. Lift the sternum. Rest the feet. You can rest the hands on your lap. As we do the bell meditation, any distractions, just let it go. Acknowledge and let the distraction go. Slowly open your eyes, rub your hands together. Yeah. Warm up your eyes. So head suspended, right? Whole body is expanded, joints are loose, Sung, the concept of Sung. While you're expanded, while you're holding form. And sun in the sky, flowing that energy down through the top of your head, feeding that sun in your chest. All of that is connected to your heart and the organs. And relax and smile. Smile from your heart while relaxing all the face muscles. Right? So physically, you don't need to smile. You need to have that feeling of smiling coming from the heart, the chest area. You just totally relax the facial muscles. Feel them fall. Okay, brush the hair, pull on the earlobes, and tap the back of the neck. Move the head up and down. And use the fingertips just to pull those muscles away from the neck. Oh, I just had a big adjustment doing that. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, learn to listen to your body, learn to listen to those little changes in pressure, in energy flowing, and yeah, just relax and take your time. Right hand, left hand. All right, so we'll close up part one, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll finish up. And I don't know if let me think if we do another 4th week of Teacups or something else. Maybe one last week of Teacups to review. Yeah, and then, okay, let's take a break.